And, there clearly is a difference between the two, and like as actors, you guys kind of study those characters, or
I
kind
think
of.
it's different, from person to person. I was so excited when I got the job with The Walking Dead. I really wanted to be on that show, and the script blew me away. So then I went and got the comic book, and I basically sat down to eat a sandwich. By the time I was done eating the sandwich, I fucking dude was dead, So it's like, the comic book does not matter at all. But I think it was really cool that, Frank and the team, that they decided to really dig into the Shane-Rick relationship and sort of figure out that was actually something, and it's a testament to Kirkman as well, that he was willing to go back and revisit it and say, I think when he was first selling the comic book, he just wanted it to sort of start with a splash and have this guy die. And I think now he's saying he kind of wishes that he had kept Shane around a little bit longer in the comic book because, it's a cool thing to sort of, dig into, Yeah. Does that answer your question about that?
Yeah. All right. Good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about boxing. I boxed in high school, and now I have vertigo. I was wondering I want to get back into it, if you had any advice.
You got vertigo? Is that what you said?
Yeah. From inner ear problem.
I know, it's tough, I've been boxing for a super long time, and it was happening to me. My best friend's a pro fighter, he's undefeated, been sparring him forever. He's basically beat my head in over the last 10 years, And I was starting to see black and white when I was leaving the gym and seeing, not being able to see out of one eye sometimes after sparring. You gotta stop. And if you have vertigo, look, you can hit a bag though, hit a bag, get some focus pads, but when your head starts getting messed up, you gotta leave it. Our heads aren't supposed to be beating in all the time. It's crazy.
That's the second tip for the day.
Yeah, just quick, bro.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Kind of along those lines, do you have any interest in doing like a sports movie, like a baseball movie?
Yeah, my next movie coming out is a Scorsese movie that comes out. Wolf of Wall Street comes out in November. But right after that, I've got a really cool movie I'm excited about. That comes out Christmas Day. It's a boxing movie that I did with Robert De Niro. De Niro, Alan Arkin, Kevin Hart, and I played De Niro's son. And actually, my nose is so broken and busted up, they actually fit a prosthetic to De Niro's nose, so he looked more like me. Which I so then when they found out that I was a boxer, I played his son in the movie, but then I also played him as a young man and do all his flashback boxing scenes. And that movie's called Grudge Match. I think that's gonna be huge. I'm really excited about that one.
Was there a moment for you where you're like, I'm freaking acting with Raging Bull here? Like,
It's crazy, yeah. It's crazy. To go, for me, to go from working with Scorsese to working with De Niro, and so intimately with De Niro playing his son, it's just, both of those were real, dreams come true. And there's no words, for me, he's the guy. And for so long, I used to just be a little troublemaker kid in and out of so much trouble you can't believe in. I would see, I would see Bob's movies. I would see his movies, the kind of characters he played showed me that you could tap into sort of this kind of energy that only got me into trouble. And then I saw that I was able to tap into this energy and actually, get paid for it, have a career, and have a family because of it, so I'm so unbelievably grateful to Mr. De Niro, and the fact that I got to be his son, and now that he's a friend, it's like, it's great. Definitely pinch yourself type shit.
Just you, Bob, and Marty hanging out?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You guys are a pretty solid crew on the screen. Off the screen, did you have any wild times?
But Walking Dead.
Yeah, you guys like Norman Reedus, all like going out, getting wild. You had a wild time?
If you can find us tonight, dude, you'll see.
You had a story of a wild time.
I don't do that, man. But I'll tell you what, Norman is my brother. I love that dude. I love Andy Lee. I love all of them. We are truly a family. Sarah Wayne Callie is the closest thing I've ever had to a sister, and all of them, and we all, in our own kind of special way. I'll tell you, while we're there, everybody takes the work super seriously, and it's not the kind of group that goes out and parties. We you know, when I was playing Shane in the second season, I lived in a house in the woods, basically by myself. I'd leave set, and I wouldn't talk to anybody until I got back. I really wanted that character to go through real solitude and really know what loneliness was about. So, you know, while we were there, we take it super seriously. But, you know, coming here, we were in Chicago, and, you know, we get together, yeah, you know, we enjoy it. We have a good time, for sure.
Yeah, and Shane was the needed evil for that show to progress. So
Shane was what?
the needed evil for that show to progress. So your character really helped. Thanks, man.
I appreciate that, brother. You take care.
That kind of immersion, that dedication to character, is that something that you take forward with like other roles that you take on? Like you're living in the woods or Walking Dead with some other examples.
You know, I do it. You know, I kind of put up with it. You know, not to be like a weirdo douchebag method actor who like does a great character to go out to dinner and shit. But I mean, it's something that I flirted with and I really got really involved with it with Shane. I felt like it really called for it. The thing I'm about to go to Europe for 7 months. I'm doing a movie called Fury with Brad Pitt and Shia LaBeouf and Mike Payne. It's about 4 of us in a tank, Nazi Germany. Keeps having us go to all kinds of boot camps, really get inundated with like military life, and I love that. I love when that kind of stuff is provided to you, for you. But yeah, I tried to jump into it a little bit. I hope I didn't jump too much into it, the role of Wolf of Wall Street, because he was the biggest Quaalude dealer in the United States in the 90s, and he was basically a complete party and one of the whole movies about orgies and sex and drugs. But you gotta jump in a little bit. So gotta be dedicated. but definitely, I like to get a little sense of the guy, and it starts out, I think, you take a character out of lunch, you go to lunch, you character, and then you start meeting people, to sit down next to somebody with the character. It's pretty weird acting stuff.
And you're dealing with who's on the corner, right?
Yeah. Whatever you are.
Yes, ma'am. The minor at the microphone.
Hi. My question is, in this one episode of Walking Dead, I think it was it was when Shane and Rick were heading back from the school where they were going to leave that kid. And there's a shot of a walker there, and it's just kind of alone in the field. And I was wondering, like, did that symbolize what, like, Shane was feeling? Did, like, he feel alone?
You're smart, bro.
Thanks.
Yeah, you are. I mean, look, that to me I thought was one of the most beautiful shots of it was one of the most beautifully photographed shots of the entire series. I'm just waiting for like Norman to run up. I know he's going to
Take a lift and solve.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's exactly it. I mean, I think that Shane's whole deal, especially in that second season, was all about loneliness. And there's different kinds of loneliness, and Shane suffered from that real brutal kind of loneliness where there's kind of loneliness when you're separated from the people you love, when they're in a different country, they're in a different place. There's a different kind of loneliness when you're right there with the people you love, but you can't be with them the way that you want to be. And I think we've all felt that when we love somebody that hasn't loved them back, it drives us crazy. And I think Shane was kind of going through that times 10, and I think he was sort of coming to terms with the fact that especially after that fight he had with Rick, that I think he started to realize he was a cancer to this group and he needed to get out. And I think seeing that walker walking by himself in the woods, he saw potentially where he would be, and it's just a sort of glimpse into the loneliness and the hopelessness that sort of lay before him. How old are you, sweetheart? 15? You rock, bro.
All right. Everybody's questions need to be that deep now.
You're done.
Yeah, she just raised the bar. All right, yes, ma'am. No pressure or anything.
Hi, my name is
Hi, sweetheart.
I have a question about Walking Dead. In your opinion, do you think Baby Judith was Shane's or Rick's?
100% Shane's baby. Big old busted nose, giant ass ears, you know what I mean? Saying, you know what I mean, shit, you know what I mean?
There needs to be a Shane action figure with a baby. Just like, yeah, it's mine.
100% Shane's baby. Hi.
I was wondering
Governor be dead. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, the governor will be dead. No way you can stand for that shit.
Well, now you're working on a show where you're not out in brutal heat and humidity. You get to like dress pretty nice, I'm guessing. Like, yeah, Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, but I miss Georgia. Yeah, I love that. That never bothered me. Georgia, and I love the South, and I love being, on that show, you get to work before the sun comes up, and, you're outside until the sun goes down, and you never go inside, and you eat lunch on the log, and I love it, that's one of the things I miss the most, but, yeah, being in the soundstage all day,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you get to give some good sidearms at least?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tommy guns and cool stuff. Yeah, I have a nice M1. Yeah, and then I can shoot a lot of people, like I said.
Yes, sir.
So, yesterday you signed my comic book, the Walking Dead one, and, you crossed out Rick's eyes. Is there like some sort of...
I think you just devalued this kid's copy. What's his money back now?
Cross out his eyes?
Is there like some sort of kind of rivalry there or something?
I didn't do that. Did I really do that? Show me.
I don't have it with me.
Huh?
I don't have it with me.
Boy, the dog ate it, huh?
See, he was just preparing for a role where he plays a guy that crosses out eyes.
Yeah, method stuff. I apologize if I did that, brother. But there's nothing.
It's at you.
Screw you, Bernthal! He's dead anyway. Where's Morgan?
Yes, how are you?
Throughout the entire time you were watching that, your emotions escalated so much. What do you think was your favorite scene to shoot? Like your favorite episode?
Your favorite episode? I don't know. There's a lot, but I really dug the progression, and I felt like the writers sort of, we worked well and made the progression kind of make sense, and I remember after I whooped Ed's ass by the water, I love that scene with Ed by the water, because I felt like that's the first second where Shane starts to realize that this is in fact a very new world that he's living in, because she says he can't see me as a kid anymore, so he's just torn up inside, and then he sees this guy, and he does the right thing, he stops him, he's like, stop doing that, really stop fucking doing that, this starts to feel freaking awesome, and there's no one here who can do anything about me hitting you, and it's like just this rape, he starts to discover that this new world, there's no laws, there's no rules. I think the very next step in that was when he trains the gun on Rick in the woods a couple episodes later. He just sees him and he just starts to realize, I can do whatever the hell I want here. Like, there are no rules. And like, what would this mean if I take this guy out? And of course I'm not going to do it yet, but why would I, you know what I mean? So I love those kinds of scenes, because for me they were like benchmarks in where I knew I ultimately had to go when dude really lost his marbles, but then definitely letting the scene with Lori in the CBC where I touched her where I wasn't supposed to touch her and was like kissing her and stuff, that was messed up. That was a really tough scene to do, because I love Sarah so much, and that takes a lot of trust and stuff like that. So like all and I think that I'm like naming every scene. I love that dude. I love Shane. I love playing. Letting the zombies out of the barn, for sure. And stuff with Dale, starting to figure him out, all that kind of stuff was really fun.
Well, speaking of murder, bloodshed, and sex, let's get a question from the child in the Pikachu. Please, sir, avoid any F-bombs when you ask this question.
Okay, I was wondering, how do you feel about Rick in The Walking Dead?
How do I feel about Rick?
Yeah.
How do I, John, feel? Or Shane?
Shane.
Shane! I think that he felt that, it's a complicated question. I mean, I think, he loves the guy, but I think that just when I was around, I think he kind of felt that, he was still way too concerned with morality and trying to do the right thing in a world where that shouldn't really exist anymore. And, but I think, there was so much love and jealousy sort of fighting each other at the same time. But, I think that Andy Lincoln is one of the best actors working today, period. And I love him, and I think I think the fact that he kind of took his foot off the gas and played Rick the way that he did the first 2 seasons, and then after everything that happened, especially after when Lori died and Shane died, how he started really becoming, kind of losing it and putting his foot on the gas with the character. I think there's no way you understand what I'm saying. I don't even understand what I'm saying. To be an actor and to be willing to not put it all in and be and patient, that's really what Andy did with his character. And so now what came out in the 3rd season, which was just such badass work. So I love the guy, but Shane had his issues with the character.
I think I covered the kids' questions.
Yeah, sorry. Sometimes you just talk a lot.
How old are you?
I'm 9.
You're 9, yeah. So wait, you, John, how do you feel about Pokemon? Pokemon, he's got a Pokemon Pikachu hat on.
I have no idea what that is.
See ya.
See you, buddy. This kid's all
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, John. I think I speak for a lot of the women in this room. You have a beautiful nose. Please take your hat off.
No, it's all thank you. I'll take that hat off.
And on a more serious note, as an actor, as you've grown into all these different characters, what's your favorite character to play in all the different movies that are up and coming?
The ones that are up and coming. Oh man, I really dig them all. I can't say which. They're like, again, not to be a precious douche, but like they're really like big part. They're like kids to me. They're like huge parts of me. This guy in Wolf of Wall Street is just nasty. I mean, he's like a gnarly dude. So I think he was fun to play. And then the stuff I did with De Niro and playing his son, it's like he's a really solid, good guy. And I haven't got to do that.